All right, so here we want to start the drafting. So it will interest you to know that the first thing you need to draft first is the trouser. Now, why should you start from the trouser? Now, even as much as this is a 6.5 yards, which should be enough for my cutting process, but to be on the safer side, you need to start from the trouser. So the name of this fabric is Irish. It's called Irish, and it has a shiny part. It has a glittering shiny part, then and there's also a little bit shiny back surface. So here we are going to start from the trouser drafting. So like we all know, we will use the plumb line method, or what they call the gradient line method. And of course, the reason I am trying to show you this as well is to enable you understand that the drafting of the trouser remains the same for both this abada stuff, right? So do well to watch to the very end. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So this will be the first, this will be the folding you will first get, So you get this folding to this very point, and then you arrange your fabric in this way. So this arrangement is in line with your length of trouser. So here, the first arrangement the first line you're going to mark here will be your side lines. So you take your ruler and then you mark out the side lines just this way. Mark it out. Make sure you remove that English mouth. Just mark it out. Gently do this. Don't be in a haste. Mark out your side lines. You mark out your side lines. So once your line has been properly marked out to the point where your length of trouser is covered, you also mark out your baseline. So these are the first steps you must undergo. And of course, you iron the fabric if there are strong posts on it. So now, once the lines have been marked out, then you mark extra 2 inches here. Now, these 2 inches will serve you for the folding or the hemming of the trouser. Like I said, I have made previous videos on this, so I will attach the video of this method of trouser in the description box of this tutorial. So length of trouser is what you apply. So the length we have from my measurements is 40. So you measure 40, you mark 40 inches for the length of trouser, 40 inches, 40 inches, 40 inches, and then after which you get your waistline. So here serves me for my waistline of the trouser, right? The waistline of the trouser. So after which you get your crotch. So how do you get your crotch? You have to divide your hip by 4. Then the hip we have is 49. Divided by 4, you have 12 1/4. 12 1/4. You mark 12 1/4 for your crotch depth. Bear in mind, there are other ways to get your crotch, but the formula I use is the one I'm stating in this video. So you can also cross-check it, and then make sure you use my method if you want to follow my process, so that if you have any problem, you will be able to ask questions and I will solve it. After which, the next you will do now is to get your knee point. So how do you get your knee point? Measure from the waistline to the length of trouser, which is 27.5, roughly 28. So divide this into 2 equal parts. So let's just assume 28. That's 14. Then minus 3 from this. That's 11. So the constant formula to get your knee line is the distance from your crotch depth to your length of trouser. This from here, divide this distance into 2 equal parts and subtract 3 as come up by 3. You get a hair. So you get it that way. So you mark 11. So this is 11. So here is my knee line. So you extend the line as shown in this form. So after you have done this, now the next you will do now is to get your hip measurements. My hip is 49, that's 12 1/4. You mark 12 1/4. Now, in such cases, I usually do it 50, like 12.5. But because I want to, the fabric I am using, might not be that much enough for my other cutting. So I need to, economize material. So I'm maintaining 50. So this is 12 1/4 this way, and this is the extra 2 inches, which is constant measurement you add after your hip over 4. Then after that, measure the total distance from these 2 inches to this very point. This gives me 14 1/4. Divide this length into 2 equal parts. 14 is 7. 1/4 is 1.25, right? So here you mark this way and then extend the line again, and then you also mark the same value here. The best method to go about it, if you don't know how to divide it, just measure this way and then fold the tape into 2 and then divide this way. So whatever be your tape division is where you're going to mark, which still corresponds to what I have, right? So here you also make the same measurements and then you mark. Also mark it as well on the ankle, just this way, and then you also mark the same value here as well. So once you have gotten to this point, the next you will do now is to extend these lines to this very point. You can decide to join the lines. You can still decide to keep the lines halfway this way. So it's just an indicator to show that this is the middle of this whole trouser. Now after that, the knee we have is a knee measurement of 20. Divide by 2, that's 10. By 2 again, that's 5. Then from this center line, mark 5 inches this way, 5 inches this way. So here you mark 5 inches this way, and you also mark 5 inches this way. That is 10, right? From the knee over 2, then by 2 again. So this is my knee circumference. So after this knee circumference, the next you will do now is to mark the ankle. Ankle we have is ankle of 16. Divided by 2, that's 8. By 2 again, that's 4. Then from here, you mark 4. From here, you also mark 4. That is how it's being done. So you mark 4 this way, and you also mark 4 inches again this way. So once you have gotten to this point, just extend these lines just the way I am showing you in this video, so that you will not make mistakes. Extend these lines all through this way. Extend these lines all through this way. And then the next you will do now is to mark your waist measurement. The waist is 42. Divided by 4 is 10.5. So here you mark 10.5 plus extra 1 inch. So this man happens to have this shape that the up area seems bigger than the downside. That is the reason this line here is almost straight. So connect the hip point to the waist allowance. It goes all through in this form. Then after which you are going to come down here by half an inch, that's 0.5. 0.5 this way, and then use your hip curve and connect in this form. Right, connect in this form. It goes all through this way. And after which you are going to come up here by 2 inches. That's for your actual hip point. It's called the actual hip point, 2 inches. And after that, take your pattern, your armhole curve, place this way. You connect with a curve just like this. So it goes all through this way. So you can decide to mark half an inch diagonal this way. It's optional. You can still leave it and do this way, still the same thing. And then after which, from here, come down by 7 inches or 7.5 for the pocket depth. So it comes in this form. And then here as well, come in here by 2.5. It's constant for the pocket notch at the up area. So this is what you have. So this is what you have, it goes in this form. So after this, the next thing you will do now is to, bring your ruler, join the hip curve, the crotch depth to the knee line. It comes in this form. You can decide to use your pattern master, hip curve, or whatsoever and join. It's still going to give you the same thing. So here you also connect from here and go all through this way. So now you raise this line up to an extent, just this way. You also raise this one up as well to an extent, just this way. After which, take your hip curve and then connect this one. It goes all through to this point. You see, right? See how it's connecting? Then connect this one as well. It also goes from here as well to this very point. So this is how it's being done. This is how it's being done. And then you are done marking your front panel of your agbada. So bear in mind that this method that I'm using can also be used on English trousers, anything that has to do with corporate trousers. So the reason I am using this method is to make sure that in case your customer wants to make use of the trouser by itself, on its bias, like without the agbada, putting on this for other activities, he can go ahead to wear it. So I'll cut out this and show you how to do the back panel.
I grab my sketch and make the line. Patterns flow like vintage wine. Dress in colors bold, refined. With fashion art I'm intertwined. From the canvas to the screen, styling dreams like you've never seen.
Alright, so here we want to cut the back panel. You have seen how the front was drafted. So simply bring the fabric as well, place in this form where you have enough fabric here. Then you're going to raise the back panel by 2 inches. So I think I will drag this down so that you see clearly or see closely. I'll show you how to do this. So you align the waistline on that 2 inches that you use for the hemming, right? Then bear in mind that this was already pushed or ground as the baseline this way. So what you need to do here is to extend the line on the front crotch to the back piece, just this way. And then on the waistline, you can mark 1.5 or 2 inches, whichever one, but I mark 2 inches. And then here, you mark 2 inches as well. And then you bring your hip curve just this way. Make a curvy line all through that way. And then, with the help of your armhole curve or pattern master, whichever one you can lay your hands on, wrap it in a form that you get a curve that connects all through to this way. And after which, from the waistline slanting, you go up by 2 inches. Now this 2 inches is called raising. Now the back panel will be raised by 2 inches. And the reason for the raising is to make sure that it doesn't give you low waist effect at the back panel, right? So here you are going to raise this to meet the side line, the one that you use as your sideline base when you were drafting the front panel. So it goes all through to these very points. So after you have done that, that's all you need to do at the back panel here. So now the next you will continue doing will be to mark the necessary inches. So from the lap region here you mark 2 inches. So here you also mark 2 inches. Here you also mark 2 inches, and here you also mark 2 inches. So these 2 inches you are marking is very essential in order to make your drafting to be perfect. So join the first 2 inches to the second one. It goes in this form. Join the second one to the third. Join the third to the fourth. the fourth one to the last one. So this is how it goes. So once you're able to achieve this, that's all you need to do for the back panel trouser, and then you repeat the cutting. And I will do that and also show you the result.
Outfits popping in daylight, mixing shades to feel just right, drawing styles that take their flight. Fashion spark ignites the night. Threads of inspiration spin. Come on in, let's just begin. Every clip, a world within. Join the flare under my skin. Creation flowing like a stream. Fashion bold and never mean. Unveil magic from our dream. Every sketch a fashion theme. Yeah. Come on in, let's just begin. Every clip a world within. Join the flare under my skin. Creation flowing like a stream. Fashion bold and never mean.
Alright, so here I feel I need to explain some things I did. So this is the band of the trouser. Now the measurement of this band is width of 2.5, and then the length of this band will be your customer's waist measurement divided by 2 plus extra 7, and this must be on fold this way because it needs to be a jointed band. So that's for the band. Now the next I did here was belt loop or belt holder. So the measurement of belt holder is 1.5 inches width by the length of 24. There are 6 loops on a trouser, and each loop is 4 inches width and length, then by 0.5 or 0.75 width, right? So that's for the loop. And then here we have the welt pocket placket. That's for the back pocket. So the measurement we have here is 3 inches width by the length of 8. Right, so 3 by 8 or 7 by 3 by 7, whichever one, but 8 is preferable, so you have enough space, to create whatever you want to create. So here, that's for this. Now the next you are going to do here is the pocket facing. The pocket facing, that's the measurement we have here is 3/4 width by the length we have here to be 12 thereabout for the pocket facing. Then for the zip fly or zip flap, so here the measurement we are going to have here is 2.53 inches, though this is subject to still reduction or trimming by the length of 11.5, which is ideal. So these are the components that makes up this trouser. So I am done with the trouser. So the next video you will see will be on the top drafting and subsequently the armada itself. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next one. Bye bye for now.